Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Indah Septi Purnama, English Literature of University Bina Sarana Informatika from class 33 for A25. I will present the poem along with the intrinsic and extrinsic message from the poem. I will start right away. Okay, table of contents. First, analyze this poem on the side of intrinsic and extrinsic elements. Second, elaborate the message from of this poem. And then third, create the poem that contains with the aspects of the followings. Please choose two of them similar and metaphor. Okay, next slide. Poem Out by Robert Frost. The bus so snarled and rattled in the yard and made dust and dropped stuff-lined sticks of wood. Sweet scented stuff when the bridge drove across it. And from there to that lifted eyes could count 5 mountain ranges, one behind the other under the sunset, far into Vermont. And the saw snarled and rattled as it ran light. Or had to bear a load, and nothing happened. They was all but done. Call it a day. I wish they might have said to please the boy by giving him the half hour that a boy counts so much when safe from work. His sister stood beside him in her apron to tell them supper at the word so, as if to prove souls knew what supper meant, leaped out at the boy's hand, or seemed to leap. He must have given the hand. However, to leap, he must have given the hand. However, it was neither refused the meeting, but the hand, the boy's first authority was revealed as he swung toward them, holding up the hand half in appeal, but half as if to keep the leaf from spoiling. Then the boy saw all since he was old enough to know. Big boy doing a man's work. Took a child at heart, he saw all spoiled. Don't let him cut my hand off, the doctor, when he comes. Don't let him, sister saw, but the hand was gone already. The doctor put him in the dark of either he lay and puffed his lips off with his breath, and then the watcher at this pulse took right. No one believed. They listened at this heart, little less, nothing, and that ended it no more to build on there, and they, since they were not the one, did turn to their affairs. Okay, next slide. Number 1. analyze this poem on the side of intrinsic and extrinsic elements. Next, intrinsic elements. Number 1, theme. The poem delves into the theme of mortality and the suddenness of death. It emphasizes the brevet and precariousness of human existence, highlighting how life can be abruptly cut short without warning. Number 2, tone. The tone of the poem is somber and mournful prose as of descriptive language and vivid imagery creates an atmosphere and of tension and impending doom. The intentional beauty of the landscape contrasts sharply with the tragic turn of events, reinforcing the poem's theme. Next, number 3, imagery. Frost implies vivid sensory imagery throughout the poem to enhance the reader's emotional response. The basso is described as snarled and rattled, creating a sense of danger and foreboding. The description of the severed hand and the boy's desperate attempts to hold onto life evoke powerful visual and textile image. Number 4, structure and form. The poem follows a narrative structure unfolding the events in chronological order. It consists of a single stanza with varying length, which add to the sense of unpredictability and abruptness. The as of enjambment, where the sentence continue without pause across multiple lines, propels the poem forward, creating a sense of urgency. Next, extrinsic elements. Number 1, title. The title Out is derived from Shakespeare's play Macbeth, specifically from Macbeth's famous soliloquy Out, brief candle. The allusion to this line serves as a reminder of the ephemeral nature of life and the transient flame that can be extinguished an in an instant. Number 2, allusion. The mention of Vermont and the 5 mentioned ranges in the poem alludes to the beauty and grandeur of nature. This juxtaposition of the Syrian landscape with the tragic accident emphasize the indifference of nature to human suffering. Next slide. The last third, historical context. Although the poem does not explicitly reference a specific time of event, it reflects the reality of rural life and the dangers faced by workers, particularly children in, in early 20th century America. The poem raises awareness of the harsh realities and risks associated with manual labor and the limited protection available to workers. Overall, uh, out masterfully combines intrinsic elements like theme, tone, imagery, and structure with extrinsic elements such as the title, allusion, and historical context to convey the poem's powerful message about the transient nature of life and the tragic consequence that can arise from uh, our our encounters with the indifferent force of the world. Okay, next, number two, elaborate the message from of this poem. Next slide. The poem, the poem Out by Robert Frost tells the tragic story of a young boy who loses his hand in a bus saw accident and subsequently dies. It explores themes of mortality, the fleeting nature of life, and the indifference of the world. The poem begins off setting the scenes in a rural yard where a bus saw is slowly and ominously operating. The description of the surroundings suggests a serene and pitch picturesque landscape with mountain ranges and a sunset sunset in the distance. This contrast between the peaceful setting and the dangerous buzz, buzz so creates a sense of tension and forest downs the tragic event to come. Next, as the show continues its work, the boy and his sister are called for supper. The boy longs for the fleeting moments of freedom and respite from work that the half hour break represents to him. However, just as he's about to join his sister, the soul suddenly jumps, or he accidentally places his hand in its path. The poem leaves the cause ambiguous, uh, empi- emphasizing the uh, ab- abruptness and unex- unspect- unexpectedness of the accident. The boy's initial reaction is one of real laughter, perhaps out of disbelief or shock. He lifts this hand partly in plea for help and partly in a desperate at, at ample attempt to keep his life from spiraling away. At this point, the boy fully realizes the severity of this injury and expresses his fear that the doctor might amputate his hand. However, it is already too late. The hand is gone. Next slide. The doctor administers anesthesia referred to as the dark of either to ease the boy's pain. The boy lies there, puffing his lips in a futile attempt to hold onto life. The watcher at his pulse, likely the doctor of or someone attending to him, becomes alarmed and realizes that the boy's condition in deteriorating rapidly. Others listen at his heart, but it is too late. The boy dies, and the poem ends abruptly. The final lines of the poem convey a sense of inference and the harsh reality of life. The price, no more to buy on their suggest that the boy's potential and future have been abruptly cut short. The people, the people around him who were not directly affected by his deed quickly turned their attention back to their own concerns and daily affairs. This ending highlights the transient nature of human existence and the lack of lasting impact an individual may have on the world. Uh, in mm, in essence, out conveys a powerful message about the fragility of life and the suddenness with which tragedy can strike. It reflects on the indifference of the world which continues to turn even in the face of personal loss and grief. The poem serves as a reminder of the brevity of our time on earth and the need to upright and cherish the moments we have. Next slide, number 3. Create the poem the contents with the aspect of the following. Please choose two of them, simile and metaphor. Next, in a garden lush and green where the flowers bloom, serenely nature dances with grace and sense in a tapestry of life, a vibrant dream. The river flows a silver thread, its current swift, its waters spread a metaphor of life. It often is often said navigating path where destinies tread. The mountains rise majestic, majestic and grand with peaks that touch the sky. They stand like guardians strong a steadfast band. Protection flies below a promised land. The trees like sentinels tall the ways, their branches reaching for distant sights. Skies a similar of strength, they symbolize endurance and resilience and resilience they epitomize. Epitomize. Next, the sun, a radiant golden fire, a metaphor for patience, desire, desire its warmth. Each night's heart, inspired in nature's embrace, its love transpires. As evening falls, the stars emerge like diamonds scatters a celestial charge, metaphors of dreams they gently arch, jarring our path, a cosmic dirge. In nature's embrace we find our way, a symphony of metaphors at play, symbolize woven into each passing day, reminding us of life's beauty, we say. Okay. Enough of my presentation. Sorry if there are wrong words that I say. Thank you so much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.